morning, children.
Morning, Auntie.
Good morning. Please sit down.
Thank you, Auntie.
Okay. So just today again, I hope all of you have your geography books out. Yes. You must. So what was the previous topic that we were dealing? We were doing which chapter? Okay. Major domains of the earth. And what exactly did we did in that chapter? We talked about the layers of the earth. So what are the three different layers of the earth? Yes?
Lithosphere, which is land, and atmosphere, which is air, and biosphere, which is light,
Okay.
and hydrosphere, which is water.
So we were doing the chapter major domains of the earth, isn't it? Now, and we had also discussed about the three major spheres into which the earth is divided. Now today we are going to take up the first layer of the earth. First sphere or domain of the earth. So the first sphere of the earth is lithosphere. We had already discussed as to how lithosphere got its name, isn't it? How did it get its name? From which word? Yes?
From lithos, it means land.
From the word lithos, which means rocks or solid rock or land. Okay. And now I'm going to show you a slide, and based on it I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay. Now what do you see here? These are
Continents and oceans.
okay. So the lithosphere, which is the outer layer of the earth, okay, on the lithosphere are based the continents and what else? Water bodies, the oceans and the seas. So the lithosphere consists of, it has got two divisions, isn't it? It is divided into two parts, lithosphere. The first part where you can see the continents resting, that part is called the continental crust. And that part of the lithosphere where you see water bodies is termed as the oceanic crust. So the lithosphere is divided into two. That part on which the continents rest, or that part which supports the continents, that is the continental crust, and that where you find the oceans and the water bodies, that is the oceanic crust. Okay. Now this continental crust and oceanic crust, what is the important difference between the two? I'll ask you on the basis of the slide on the lithosphere. Please show me. No, this one. No, not this one. The previous one. No, this. Yes. Yes. So you find that the lithosphere divided into two: the continental crust and the oceanic crust. Okay. You find which one do you find is more thicker? Continental crust. And which is thinner? Oceanic crust. So the continental crust is thicker than the oceanic crust. Okay. So this is an important difference between the two. Now moving on again to the slide where the countries and the oceans are placed together. Now here we are going to study first of all, today we are going to study the different continents that are there present on the globe or on the earth. Okay. So now if you see this picture, which continent do you think appears to be the largest? Okay. Yes. Trisha. Asia. Yes. So you find that Asia seems to be the largest. as is evident from the picture, isn't it? And which continent do you think is the smallest? Okay, yes.
Australia.
Australia is the smallest. Why not Antarctica? And is Antarctica a continent?
Yes.
Okay, is it a continent? Yes, it is a continent. But why is it that it is not small? Why do you think that Australia is smaller than Antarctica? From the size or from the picture, is it evident that Australia is smaller? Yes.
Because Antarctica is wider and we don't see the full part of Antarctica.
Very good. Yes, very good. So we find that Antarctica is more wider, isn't it? And
some part of it is hidden
and some part is hidden. Okay, that is why Australia is the smallest continent and Asia is the largest continent. Okay, so now we are going to first of all study about which continent? Asia. Now Asia. First feature that we noted about Asia is that it is the largest continent. Okay, now what else do you find? You know, it is so large, Asia, that it occupies 1/3 of the total land area. It occupies 1/3 of the total land area. Now, yes, now did we read, what was the previous chapter that we read prior to the maps? Did we read about latitudes, longitudes, rotation and revolution? Okay, so you find some latitudes crossing through all these continents, running from east to west, isn't it? Now, which latitude do you think is crossing through Asia? Because it's just above the equator. Yes, Raghav.
23.5 degrees north.
That is, what is the name? Yes, so we find that the Tropic of Cancer, and is it passing almost through the middle of Asia? Yes, so we find a very important latitude passing through Asia, which is the Tropic of Cancer, and it is 23.5 degree north, isn't it? Now another fact that we note, that in which hemisphere is Asia located? From the picture, what conclusions can you draw? Yes. It is in the northern hemisphere. To be more specific, if we if we want to find out whether it is exactly in which hemisphere, what would you say?
Some part of the Asia is in the southern hemisphere.
Okay, it's only, yes, of some islands. Yes, but basically the entire land mass is in the northern hemisphere, and if you yes,
It's in the
eastern hemisphere. Yes, so if you take it in terms of north and south, it is in the northern hemisphere, and if you take it in terms of east and west, then it is in the eastern hemisphere. So this is the location of Asia. Now and we find that the Tropic of Cancer, which is a very important latitude passing through almost the middle of Asia. So what conclusion can you draw about the climatic condition of Asia based on the fact that the latitude 23.5 degrees passing through it? Yes.
Actually, India is it is in the torrid zone, in the temperate zone, so it will be not too hot, not too cold.
Entire India is in the
Southern part, it's in the torrid zone.
southern part of India is in the torrid zone. Yes,
It's very
definitely.
hot.
Yes.
But the northern part, it's in the temperate zone, so it will not be
Yes,
hot.
as we had studied,
And, above India, all of the countries are cold.
above India or above the Tropic of Cancer, all the countries which are located in Asia are cold. Yes, cold, or you can say that since many of them lie in the temperate zone, and after that they also some part of Asia lies in the Pacific zone. So they are, the temperature is modest. It ranges from cool to cold, isn't it? So this is how Asia, you can deduce, or you can draw facts about a continent on the basis of its latitude. Yes. Now, yes. Now, another thing that you see in this picture is that most of the land masses are located in which hemisphere? Northern hemisphere. And southern hemisphere has more of water. More of water, and northern hemisphere has more of land. So, did we read about solstices in our previous chapter? Yes. And we also read there that we talked about solstices only in terms of northern hemisphere, isn't it? We talked about summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. We never talked about the southern hemisphere, did we? So this is one of the important reasons why we talk about all solstices and most of the facts with relation to the northern hemisphere, because with reference to the northern hemisphere, because northern hemisphere has got most of the land masses and people, it is densely inhabited, whereas southern hemisphere has got few continents, as you can see, Australia and Antarctica, which is not inhabited, and some parts of Africa and South America jetting into it. So this is the characteristic of Asia. And now Asia, again coming back to Asia, which is the continent which is lying absolutely close to Asia? Europe. On which side of Asia is Europe? Which side of Asia is Europe? The western side. And can you name a physical feature that divides Asia from Europe? Yes. The Ural Mountains. The Ural Mountains are a sort of a division which separate Asia from Europe. Otherwise, if taken together, they are jointly called Eurasia. Okay. So Ural Mountain separates Asia and Europe. Now moving on to so the second continent that we are going to take up is Europe. Okay, Asia, we have already noted down that it is the largest continent. The Tropic of Cancer passes through it, isn't it? Tropic of Cancer passing through. What else did we know about, learn about Asia? That it is separated from Europe by the continent. Okay, so these are some of the important characteristics of Asia which we have discussed. Now moving on to Europe. Seeing, going by the picture, what can you conclude about Europe? What are some of the facts that you can conclude about Europe? Yes.
It's dispersed.
It is dispersed. Okay.
A lot of islands are in Europe.
Very good, very good. We find that a lot of, because it's more or less surrounded by water bodies, so a lot of islands are there, and it is not concentrated, but it is dispersed. A very good conclusion. Yes. So Europe is, and do you think it is smaller than Asia?
Yes.
Quite small? Yes. So Europe is much smaller than Asia, and it lies to the, no, in terms of direction west of Asia. Okay. So we are now going to deal with Asia. Europe, the second continent. And we find that it is in the west of Asia, isn't it? Europe. West of Asia, very small, isn't it? Much smaller. Much smaller than Asia. And the other thing that you noted down was? Yes. Surrounded by water bodies from how many sides? Three sides. And the fourth important characteristic which you observed was that it is dispersed and not concentrated, isn't it? Dispersed. Okay. Now, since we were talking about important latitudes passing through the different continents, which latitude do you think is passing through Europe? Yes. Arctic Circle. Very good. So if Arctic Circle is passing through a continent, then what can you conclude about the climatic situation there? Yes. Arctic Circle. Why? Arctic Circle?
Auntie, some of the parts are in the frigid zone, so they are cold, but most of Europe is not cold.
That would be a better answer. Most of Europe has got a moderate climate, but that part of Europe which lies in the frigid zone is very cool. And otherwise, the areas which are below the Arctic Circle, they have quite a cool climate, okay, a moderate climate. So this is latitudes are a very important tool for helping us to conclude about the climatic condition of a place, especially with regards to temperature. We can conclude as to whether the place is going to be hot or cold. Okay, and we have already found that it's surrounded by water bodies on three sides, isn't it? And it's much smaller than Asia, and it is dispersed. So this is Europe, okay? But do you think that its small size has anything to do with its development? Which continent do you think is the most developed? Technologically very advanced, yes.
Auntie, it will be North America or South America.
And what about Europe?
Auntie, not in developed, but not that North America and South America.
Yes, you are correct when you say that North America is developed, but I don't think Europe is any less developed. Europe is any less developed, isn't it? You have got some very developed and technologically advanced countries which are there in Europe. Can you name some of them?
Auntie, Germany.
Yes, very good.
Switzerland.
France, isn't it? So it's technologically so advanced.
Because Auntie, there is a very less serious, so it doesn't take much time.
Okay. So what does this teaches you a very important lesson of life? That size doesn't matter. Yes. Okay. Now moving on to the next continent, which is Africa. Now Africa. By the time I write Africa on the board, you observe some of the important facts about Africa and tell me.
Auntie, the geography.
So the third continent that we are going to deal with is Africa. Okay. Yes. From the picture, what can you conclude? Yes, dear.
It is the second largest.
It is the second largest continent in the world. So you find that after Asia, this seems to be very large, isn't it? After Asia, this is a continent which seems to be larger than the rest of them. It's only smaller than Asia. So it is the second largest continent in the world. Okay, what else can you deduce? Yes.
Equator is passing through it.
Equator is passing through almost the middle of Africa. Okay, so even the portions which are above the equator and below the equator, they will also feel the heat, isn't it? Because, so what can you conclude from this? Yes.
It is mostly in torrid zone.
It is mostly in torrid zone. Yes. So Africa is mostly in torrid zone. So the temperature is very high. Yes. And so it's very hot in Africa. Okay. And what? Now regarding its position, do you think where does it lie in terms of with reference to Asia? Where does it lie with reference to Asia?
South of
It's south of Asia, okay?
Southwest.
Okay, southwest of Asia. Very good. It's southwest of Asia. And what else can you? Yes. Very good. That is a very important. No, part of Asia lies in the larger part of Africa. Sorry, not Asia. The larger part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere. What? Yes.
Along with South of Africa, South America, Africa is concentrated at one point and it is not dispersed.
Okay, it is not dispersed and it is concentrated. Okay. What else? What can you tell me about the oceans that lie on the eastern and western margin? Yes.
It has oceans on 2 or 3 sides. On its east side is the Indian Ocean. On its south is the Atlantic Ocean. And on the west part is the North Atlantic.
Very good. On the west is the North Atlantic, South Atlantic, and in the eastern side you have the Indian Ocean. So we find that it is covered by water bodies from almost
3 sides.
yes, 3 sides. Now, one important factor. Yes.
It is only the continent that passes. The equator also passes through it. The topic of
Cancer.
also and the topic.
Okay, so a very important observation. Yes, a very important observation is that all the three, this is the only continent in the world from which all the 3 latitudes pass. Okay, so what will you conclude from this? If there are 3, it lies in 3, heat zones, isn't it? It lies, Africa is concentrated in 3 heat zones.
It will have varying temperatures.
Beautiful, very good. Yes, it will have varying temperature. So some part will be cold, some part will be hot, and some part will be moderate. Very good. Yes.
Auntie, why will it have the cold temperature? It will be in the temperate zone, so it will be in the water.
No, since it's in the, what happens in the temperate zone? Countries which lie in the temperate zone, otherwise they have moderate temperature, but when it's winter, when the sun is inclined away from the northern hemisphere, then they experience intense cold. So that is the time when they will be, when it will be very cold.
Auntie, will Africa also experience intense
In some parts, as you can see, only some part of Asia, Africa is jutting out of Tropic of Cancer, isn't it? So only in prime winter season, like in December and January, some part of Asia might experience intense cold, but the rest of Asia is mostly in the most of the time I'm getting confused. Yes, it is Africa, and we are not talking about Asia. So most of Africa will be in the torrid. Yes.
The largest hot desert is located in Africa, the Sahara Desert.
Very good. Yes. This is another fact that probably you knew from before, that the hottest desert, which is that desert? Sahara Desert. So the Sahara Desert is located in, is it the largest desert?
Yes, largest hot desert.
What else had we noted Africa? That? Yes, what else had been noted about? Yes, that all the three latitudes, all three important latitudes pass through it. Okay, so since the bell has gone and the period is over, we would I'm concluding the chapter and we'll carry on in the next period. Okay. So what have we learned today? We have learned about no, not all that. Yes, Mrinal.
Asia, Europe, and Africa.
Okay, so which is the largest continent? Which is the smallest? Australia. So did we learn about Australia today? No, but we would be learning about it in the next class. So, and which is the continent which is very dispersed? Yes, Europe. And which is the continent which is the second largest? Yes. Okay. Any other characteristic about Africa that you can tell me? Yes.
The longest river also.
The longest river, which is it? Yes, we missed out a point there. The longest river, it is also Africa is also home to the longest river. Longest river, Nile, flows through Africa. Okay, so that is it. We'll continue and discuss about more continents
Ma'am, Europe also contains
In the
largest
next.
lake, ma'am.
which is that.
Ma'am, Caspian Sea.
Okay, the Caspian Sea, which is the largest. Okay, yes, a very good information that you have shared with us. So we'll continue with the rest of the continents in the next class. Okay.